Thanks for visiting my channel. Today's video is going to be an introduction to canning. I am not a guru by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, I've only been canning for about a year, but I've found that it is something that is very rewarding to do. I got into canning because my husband and I were exploring ways to become more self-sufficient, and canning seemed to be one of those ways to do that. So the next thing I knew, after doing some research and watching some videos with him, he was buying me a pressure canner and wanting me to get started learning. So as a matter of fact, one of the people who I would say was very influential in me learning to can was Linda from Linda's Pantry. She has a YouTube channel and she's just wonderful to watch. And when you watch her canning videos, it makes you just want to try it. She just makes it look like so much fun and just a very rewarding thing to do. And it truly is. So what I'm going to do today is just go over some of the basics of canning. Share with you what I know, and hopefully by the end of the video it'll be something that you want to try as well. So the first thing that you need to know is there's two types of canning. There's water bath canning and there's pressure canning. Water bath canning is for high acid foods, fruits, jams and jellies, pickles, that kind of thing. Pressure canning is for low acid foods, meats, vegetables, and those kinds of things. So where you need to start is just educating yourself on the two different processes of canning and knowing what ingredients should be canned which way. So you want to start with a good resource. Now there are resources online. Lots of people post recipes and their methods of doing things. The only thing I have to say about that is just make sure you're always using a reliable source. Now I have watched a lot of videos on YouTube and also read things online, but I would say, and most people who do canning and who have canned for a long time will tell you to make sure that you are getting your information from a good source that can be trusted, because you certainly don't want to make anyone sick, which you can do if you don't do it right. So I always refer to the Ball Canning Book. They are an extremely reliable source. Of course, they sell a lot of the jars and the tools that you need to do canning, and they have some amazing books. This is the Blue Book Guide to Preserving by Ball, and they not only talk about canning in here, but they also talk about other ways of preserving food, freezing, dehydrating, smoking. What else? There's another book. There's the difference between water bath canning and pressure canning, fermenting, freezing, dehydrating, curing, and smoking. So their books not only cover the canning process, but other processes of preserving food as well. I have not gotten into the other ways of preserving food other than freezing, but there are things that I do want to try. So anyway, you want to start with a good resource, and their books are wonderful because they have recipes. They tell you the procedure from A to Z, exactly how to do it, answer tons of questions you might have, go over the different types of tools that you need, tell you things to be aware of. It's very comprehensive, the Blue Ball Book of Canning. Also, they have a new one, the all-new Ball Book of Canning and Preserving. This one is similar to the other one, but it has some more updated recipes, some really creative recipes, things that you can can, and then they not only tell you in the books how to can certain things, but they also include recipes so that when you're planning your meals, you can go to your shelf, pull something off that you can, and they show you how to use it in a recipe. So these two books are wonderful, wonderful resources to use. The other book that I like is the Amish Canning Book. It is written by a lady by the name of Georgia Moroza. And she is, when you read about her, it's interesting. She is a master canner. So she has taken classes to become a canning guru, and then she also teaches it. So she has a ton of information in this book as well, and old tried and true recipes. So when you are canning, you want to start with a reliable source. You want to make sure that you follow a reliable recipe. As a matter of fact, the Ball book says if you want to experiment, freeze your food as opposed to canning it, because there are some things that you cannot can. Noodles, rice, pasta, dairy products, even cabbage. I think I've read that you can't can cabbage. So those are really important things to know. So always use a good recipe that you know can be canned, and then follow the instructions. Canning is not hard, it's just a process. Water bath canner is just basically a big pot. I also use this pot to make large batches of soup or stock, and it just comes with a basket for your jars to sit into, and then you're just going to basically boil water to seal your jars. And you have to have the basket in there or something on the bottom so that your jars don't touch the bottom. Now I have read recipes where if you don't have the basket that's included with the pot, you can put a dish towel in there. Your jars just cannot touch the bottom of the pot or they will break. So that's important to know. Pressure canning is different. You still put your jars in here with a certain amount of water, but it's canned under pressure. And I have a funny story about my All-American canner. When you get your canner, it comes with really big warning labels on both the front top of the lid and the front of the actual pot. And they're pretty big stickers, and it has warning, this, that, and the other, and explains different ways of using the pot and things you're not supposed to do with your canner. Those stickers drove me crazy, so I took mine off. They recommend that you leave them on there, and they're so adamant about you having the warning labels on there that they even offer to send you a new one if something happens to yours and it falls off. I took mine off on purpose because I don't like it there, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be arrested by the canning police for that. So just beware of that. They do come with stickers. They do recommend that you leave them on there, and it's just warning labels to make sure that you're reminded to follow the correct procedures to use your pressure canner. The pressure canner also comes with a tray for the bottom, because again, you don't want your jars to touch the bottom of your pot while you have it on and you're going through the canning process. So you need to make sure that you have that for canning, and also your pressure gauge, your pressure weight is the word I'm looking for. Some of the other things that you'll need, a lifter for your jars. This is what you use to put your jars in and out of the hot water. A funnel to put your ingredients into your jars, and it keeps it from making a mess. Tongs for your jars, because you have to start with hot jars, so you're either taking them out of hot water or a hot dishwasher. Either way, as they recommend. So you want to use the tongs to lift your jars out of that. A debubbler, this tool, you use this end when you put whatever ingredients you're canning into your jars. You want to move stuff around to make sure you don't have any air bubbles. The other end helps you measure what they call head space, and each recipe is a little bit different, but it helps you measure how much space you have between the product you're canning and the top of your jar. So you need one of those, and then this little guy has a magnet on the end, and you put your lids into warm water, hot water, and then you can use this to pull them out of the hot water. Jars, of course, you need. They have a ton of different sizes. Some of the most common sizes are the quart jars. These are 1.5 pints. These are pint jars. They come in a couple different sizes. And then you've got your typical jelly jar, which is 8 ounces, and then your cute little baby jelly jars that are 4 ounces. So you need those, rings, and lids. Lids come in both, and I didn't bring them up here, but wide mouth and regular mouth. This is the size of a regular mouth, and this is the size of a wide mouth. I use both, but obviously it's easier to get your product in and out of your jar if you use a wide mouth. So the wide mouth is pretty popular to use. So the other thing, when you're going to be canning up something, you want to make sure you use good quality, fresh ingredients. Follow your recipe and follow the instructions on your canner. It's extremely rewarding. I can't even begin to tell you how much I have enjoyed doing it, how much I've enjoyed learning the process. My family loves it when I'm canning. My husband frequently asks me, "So are you canning this week?" Because he just enjoys me doing that and seeing something that I've made that's sitting on my shelf that we can eat at a later date. The other thing that I love about it is I know exactly what's going into my jar. I know the quality of the products, and you're not adding a bunch of preservatives and things that you don't want to feed your family. So I feel really good about controlling what ingredients I'm putting in the mouths of my family. So I hope that helps any of you who are thinking about canning to not be afraid to do it. Try it. I know when I got my pressure canner, I looked at it and read the instructions several times and felt quite intimidated because it looks like a very intimidating piece of equipment, but I assure you it is not hard. It's just a process. So you just follow the steps and make sure you maintain your canner, keep it in good working condition, and you'll have it for years to come. You can even pass it down to your kids. And it's just a wonderful hobby. It's a wonderful thing to learn and know how to do. I remember being a little girl and being at my grandma's house and how amazing her vegetable soup was. She was a very simple lady. She lived so simply and lived in a very small house. She and my grandfather grew their own food, and she would make and can her own vegetable soup, and I will never forget how good that tasted. So I'm hoping that I can pass some of that along to my kids and my grandchildren someday. Just really good memories. So I hope this inspires you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have questions, please feel free to comment. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.